Hello, I'm an old guy and I do maths, and we want to figure out what this equals. So, what does this equal? And it's not an English lesson, but we'll put a question mark there nevertheless, because there should be one. Right, so what we have is we have negative 6 over 2 to the power of negative 1. Now, some of you who are comfortable with this sort of thing will just look at this and know the answer. This video is not for you, obviously. It's designed to help people come to terms with this. So let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got negative 6, and I'm going to call that negative 6 over 1. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm breaking up this into two component fractions. So we can have a look at what's going on. Okay, so negative 6 over 1 is just negative 6. That's not a big deal. 2 to the power of negative 1 is the denominator here, and it can be written separately as 1 over 2 to the power of negative 1. So, provided you're happy with that, we'll move along. And 2 to the power of negative 1 is equal to 1 over 2. That's what the index laws tell us. It's 1 over 2 to the power of 1. Check out the video on negative index laws if this is a problem for you. So what we have is we have 1 over 2 to the power of negative 1. And we know that 2 to the power of negative 1 is 1 over 2 to the power of 1. So there are a couple of ways in which we can deal with this. A quick way of looking at this is simply to say that 1 over 2 to the power of negative 1 is equal to 2 to the power of 1 over 1. If we want to get rid of the negative index, we simply move this to the top of the fraction and get rid of the negative sign. Now, again, some of you will be really familiar with this, others may not. The fact that it's over 1 makes no real difference because anything divided by 1 is itself. So effectively, what you do with this is you invert this fraction here and you remove the negative sign. Now, there's another way of looking at this, and I think that this is sometimes where trouble strikes. So we have a fraction 1 over 2 to the negative 1, and that is equal to 1 over, we've already said that 2 to the negative 1 is 1 over 2. Now, some of you will have seen fractions that look like this. There's a rule that governs this, and if I just write that rule out here, it is that. So 1 over b over c is equal to c over b. So this is equal to that, which is what we had here. So remember, all the fuss here is about this part of the problem, not this part of the problem. This is really easy, it's negative 6. So that's using this rule. Now, there's another way of looking at this. So we have 1 over 1 half. Now that is 1 divided by a half. Now think about the rules for division of fractions. Write this as a fraction if you want to. It makes no difference. If we do write this as a fraction like this, the rules regarding the division of fractions mean that we do this. We save this, we change the sign, and we flip the fraction. And what we get is we get 2 over 1, which equals 2. Now, as you can see, this little formula here holds true. 1 over 1 over 2 becomes 2 over 1, which equals 2. So all of this has been about various ways of getting to this point, which is the same as that. So let's take that and apply it. So what we have is we have negative 6 over 1, and 1 over 2 to the negative 1 we know is 2. And what we've done is we split up this fraction originally. Can you see that? Sorry. Can you see that? We split up this fraction into 2 parts originally, negative 6 over 1 and 1 over 2 to the negative 1. We know what negative 6 over 1 equals. That's really simple. We worked out using a couple of ways that 1 over 2 to the negative 1 is equal to 2. You see it here, you see it here, and you see it here. Several ways of doing this. And now we just have to figure out what that equals, and the answer is negative 12. That's really it. Please note that we normally deal with the exponentials first. So what we get is we get 6 times 1 over 2 to the negative 1, and then we deal with the minus. It makes no difference, and it's probably not worth pursuing. For those of you who know what you're doing, it's fine. For those of you who've seen this for the first time, it just adds more confusion. But there's a video in the channel on this precise sort of problem. You can have a look at that. Suffice it to say that the answer to this is negative 12. Anyway, who would have thought that it could be approached from so many ways and would take so much working just to figure out what 2 was equal to? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.